There's too many rights for staff in this country. I used to work at this company for community mental health, and they wouldn't even allow tracking devices on the phones of the staff who drive all over town. In company cars, they say it's an invasion of privacy. So when I worked at KFC as a kid, and they have cameras there, is that an invasion of privacy? Because I was talking to my friend who's got a construction business, and they were saying they're having difficulty maintaining the efficiency of their staff. And I suggested, well, perhaps why don't you offer them a body cam so you can supervise? And people would be like, invasion. Yeah, but if people are on TikTok half the day, if they're on OnlyFans half the day, and they're supposed to be building houses, it's wasting away your money, your business, and then people aren't getting their houses built. And at KFC, you've got cameras because there's cash, there's hygiene, there's products. But I mean, you're building a roof, your time, your labor is the only variable that's costing the business owner money. And if I was to ever be a politician, if I was ever to be like a fascist dictator, I would offer to the Australian people that I would live stream every meeting, every dinner, except for when I'm sleeping or when I'm in the bathroom. I would have complete transparency because your public life, your private life has to be, and your spiritual life has to be in unison, in a divine harmony. Otherwise, you're gonna break down. The system's gonna break down. And I believe in being open, and I have nothing to hide. And I don't understand how you can be a construction worker or in community mental health and be above supervision, because Australia is incredibly infamous for its socialist attributes and giving too much power to the worker, not enough to the business owner. And it stunts business, it stunts it, and it encourages mediocrity, and it culls ambition, and it creates a cultural deficit. There's not enough facilities, there's not enough community access attractions considering the population, and it's sad, and it's also wrong. I go to these family events in Queensland, near Brisbane, northern suburbs, family-friendly events like face painting, pat the donkey, etc. They're always incredibly outnumbered, like the facilities are overwhelmed. There's way too many people there, it's out of control. And that's because there's not enough facilities or people taking chances on investments as opposed to purely real estate, and it's culling the potential for community. And it's because there's too much payment for low-skilled work. People should be fighting intergenerationally, work as hard as they can to have their own business, to be able to call the shots. Not just go to Bali twice a year, not be overweight, not just chasing skirt all the time, not watching football games all the time. You gotta hustle. The whole world is working hard. If you're sitting back, your country's going to be taken over. You're going to be obsolete. Your kids will never get the opportunity you had because you didn't pull your socks up and keep up with the Joneses. And they call it race because it's competition. The whole world is neck and neck. Australians are notorious for being a little bit too relaxed. And that made sense in the 60s when we were a homogenous society. Now it's not. You have to keep up with the Joneses, otherwise you're going to get your civil liberties stripped. You'll get your land taken from you. And it is wrong to give too much power to the worker, because then Australia has such a large middle-class population, but also has an underclass that's really festering and bubbling and boiling and growing like a parasitic viral infection off the backs of the high taxpayers. And there's a lot of social issues due to the lack of family time. People working long hours, and the house of property is too high. That's also affected by the two-income homes, and it's the social expectations. Overseas holidays, going out to dinner, late model phones, late model cars. They get drunk twice a week. So also, I know so many people, especially people with minor disabilities, they would do really well if they were working even just 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. But they won't do that because it's too expensive for employers. And I know there's all these disability agencies and such, but that's coming from taxpayers, and people miss their dads. Their dads are always working because their dads are paying for taxes for these services, for these welfare services. So people have been raised by their dads, so they've been raised by their mom and computers, and that's why kids are fucked up. So we need to have cultural accountability and work together so that we can we can thrive and survive and be sustainable. God bless.